Meet Ella Massey. At first glance, she's your typical 5-year-old. She attends Sunset Elementary School in the early childhood program.
Ella is a very fun little girl. It's full of a lot of energy, and she is always bouncing and happy and excited to talk about her friends. She likes to be the center of attention.
And seeing all you guys out here today just makes me so excited to know that it is people like you that are the reason that I have my daughter Ella.
Ella was certainly the center of attention at Centennial Park April 22nd at the March of Dimes Walk America, which raises money to help save the lives of premature babies. Ella and her mom Reagan served as ambassadors for this year's event, and it's no wonder. Their story is one of perseverance and survival.
I almost stopped.
Let's go back to the beginning. Reagan Massey had 2 daughters before Ella, but it wasn't an easy road.
They found out I had a blood disease that caused my blood to clot, so when I would get pregnant, it would basically cut off the flow of oxygen to the baby. So what they did was they put me on all these blood thinners, and basically after losing 7, they told me I would never have another baby. Then crazy me decided to have another one. After all of that, you forget. And I got pregnant with Ella, and when I was pregnant with Ella, they told me that basically they told me that I probably would not have this baby, and that if I did, she would not make it very, very long. At 14 weeks, they did an ultrasound on Ella, and they found a cyst in her brain. They told me that she was going to be incompatible with life. Around 31, 32 weeks, Ella decided she was going to come no matter what. So when she was born, there was no noise, there was no crying, there was nothing but doctors rushing in the room and them hitting alarms, and they basically took her away from me, and I had never seen her. She just was born and she was gone. I didn't know if next time I saw her, I was going to be planning, funeral arrangements, or if she was going to look fine and they were just going to bring her back to me. It's one of those things that you just don't know. And then they took me to see her, and there's nothing that prepares you for seeing your child like that, with all these tubes coming out of them. And at that time, she was still blue because they hadn't been able to get her oxygen levels up high enough.
After being transported to another hospital, a solution presented itself.
A neonatologist walked up to me and he said, "There's one last thing we can try," because she still was not taking oxygen into her lungs. He said, "There's something called surfactant therapy that we can put down through her ventilator into her lungs, and it basically is a soapy substance. And this is what babies are typically born with. When they take that first breath, their lungs expand, and that stuff's already there. That's what's supposed to be there." They did the surfactant therapy on her, and we just waited, and all of a sudden we saw she was pinking up and things were starting to happen.
It turns out the March of Dimes funded research for this surfactant therapy that ended up saving Ella's life.
So right when she said that and said that the March of Dimes did it, I was like, oh, I am, this is my new cause. This is what I'm gonna spend my life, trying to help babies not have to go through this.
Now the day of the walk is finally here. The build-up to the event is a community effort.
We always try to do a huge party every year, and this year we did a party, and we had about 150 people come in and out of our doors for the Team Ella party. So that was really exciting. We had over 100 people sign up to walk with us coming up Sunday.
The whole Sunset Elementary and Middle School community also got involved in this year's walk.
Sunset Middle, their student council has decided to do Team Ella as their service project, which is really exciting for us because we don't even have a child in middle school. So to have somebody take that on and get very, very excited about it, we have a student, Kennedy Carter. She was born, I think she was born about 8 weeks early, don't quote me on that, but she was born about 3 pounds, and this was 10 years ago. So I grabbed her and I said, "Hey, you got to sing for me at the walk."
3 pounds and 4 ounces, looking up at me like I have all the answers. I hope I have the ones you need.
At this year's event, Reagan and Ella got to tell their story to the crowd.
But these diapers are the diapers that Ella wore when she was a baby. I don't know if you can see how little that is. And Ella, can you tell them how big you were when you were born?
About this big.
And fittingly, they got to lead off the walk.
I'm ready.
Let's go!
We're walking for 2 hours!
So I really think that Ella's being affected by all this because she knows that there's a lot of sick babies, and she knows she was one of them, and she knows that she doesn't want kids to have to go through what she goes through. And Ella's tough. She just doesn't cry. She's a tough little kid. Her pain tolerance is so much higher, and she knows it's because she was born early. So I think that Ella is definitely, she gets a lot out of it. She gets a lot out of doing this for the March of Dimes. I think in her own way she knows she's giving back. I think being 5 and getting older, I think she's really realizing it. So I think that this is definitely something that Ella will keep up with as she gets older.
Thanks for helping save babies like me.